So this is what they're going to want because I'm not sure they Yes, I did read it.
Welcome everyone. It is Wednesday, December 6th, 2023. We are here for the regularly agendized Middleton City Council meeting. We're going to be moving forward with a seek approval of an amended agenda right after we have a roll call, a pledge of allegiance, and an invocation by Lincoln Allen. So roll call, please.
Council President Kaiser.
Here.
Councilmember Huggins.
Here.
Councilmember Murray.
Here.
Councilmember O'Meara.
Yes. Thank you, Jenica. All right, if you'd stand for the pledge, remove your hats.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lincoln, come on up to the podium. Kind of tell us who you are and
I'm Lincoln Allen. I'm a senior at Middleton High School. I mountain bike, ski, and I'm ASB president.
very cool, very cool. Do you have plans moving forward after graduation?
Yes, I plan to serve a 2-year church mission and then hopefully go to BYU and then to get back to Idaho.
All right, well, thank you very much for stepping up and offering this invitation. And go ahead if you would, please.
Of course, yeah. Dear Heavenly Father, we are so very grateful to be here today. We're so grateful to meet as members of this wonderful city. Please help us that we can be guided by the Spirit and that our leaders and the people here, that we can make decisions that will make this a better place for all the citizens. We're so very grateful for the people of Middleton and the leaders. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Lincoln. Very noble. Appreciate it. Let's talk about the amended agenda, Mr. Chairman.
Council, before us we have an amended agenda. It was posted December 4th at 2:30 p.m. Any questions? All right, then I move we approve the consent or approve the agenda posted December 4th at 2:30 p.m.
Second. Our agenda is December 6th.
Or December 4th, sorry. Need better glasses. That's today's.
December 6th.
But the agenda was posted the 4th.
Oh, you're right. Today is a good job, Rob. That's why I didn't present.
We got a motion by Kaiser and a second by O'Meara. Is that right, Kim? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Roll call.
Council President Kaiser.
Yes.
Councilmember Huggins.
Yes.
Councilmember Murray.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Meara.
Yes.
That is unanimous. Thank you very much. Next item is an information item. A few weeks back, council thought it might be wise to have an update on the gravel pit. And so our treasurer, Ms. Miles, is here to give us that update.
As well as a budget update.
Budget
for
update as well.
Last year's
Let's
budget,
do it.
yeah. So let's start with the budget, because then we'll go through that really fast and then we'll hit the gravel pit. So last year's budget, we just had our audit last week for last year's budget. And we ended pretty well. So we budgeted, I'm going to do this at a high level. I can bring it down if you want it brought more detail. But we budgeted for $21,295,629. Of that, we received $17,533,866. In the revenue, we had anticipated bringing forward, carry forward, of $3,648,147.53. So it looks like, oh, we really failed on bringing in the revenue that we were budgeting for, but in reality we didn't. So if you go down to the expense side, we budgeted $21,295,629 to spend, and we spent $14,292,185. So the year, I think, we went well. We got some projects done that we wanted to get done, and then there's some projects that didn't get done that we anticipated getting done, and they rolled into this year. Any questions? I know that was really high level, so if you want to review that.
Mayor Rule.
Councilman Huggins.
Wendy, when you talk about the carry forward, I usually refer to that as savings. We're money that we're bringing out of
That's correct.
savings.
Yes.
And you're saying that in our budgeted amounts, we had budgeted the 3.6 million. That's in those budgeted figures.
Yes, that's correct.
So 17.5 to 21.2 is off, and we don't really ever reflect. Do we reflect
No.
the money from savings in that actual revenue?
No, we don't.
So you kind of have to add the two together to get to the,
Or subtract them.
or subtract one.
Right,
Okay.
so like the general fund ended up being about 31,000 short. We didn't bring, from the revenue projected, if you're just looking at revenue, right? But not from what we brought in. And all the other funds, they ended up being over in revenue.
Okay.
And then I did want to talk about the garbage fund, solid waste. You'll see that has a negative 104,000. That fund is a pass-through fund, and when we are budgeting, we don't know how many new, we're guessing at how many new residents are going to take garbage service. I mean, they're all going to, right? But we try to do our best to estimate how much revenue and then how much expense, because it's just a pass-through. Whatever we collect from the residents goes to the garbage company. So that was short in expenses by $23,599, but we received more revenue by $104,000. So they wash each other out.
Yeah.
As long as you have the revenue coming in, and it's a pass-through fund, so that's the one fund that you can get away with that. And in '24, I really upped that number to try to anticipate, because I don't like to see that. I try to do better than it. Does that make sense? You have any questions with that?
No, I would imagine the household garbage. I would think some of those larger differences would be in your commercial where it's more expensive. And we've added commercial projects.
Right,
I think
but
that one would be a hard one to estimate.
Commercial is taken over by Republic Services, so they bill for that, and
It's not passed through at all for us?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
The only thing that's passed through the city right now
Is
is all residential.
Oh, okay.
Wendy, was the budget amended during the year?
No, the budget was not amended during the year.
That's hard to do, to go through a fiscal year and not amend the budget.
I've
So,
only had to amend one,
well,
and
That's
amending
kinda-
the budget is not fun. It's a lot of work. And
that's the nature of the
so
question. Good job.
Well,
You
thank
did it for
you.
the year,
Thank you.
Not having to amend.
We try, and that's not just me. A lot of people go into doing this. So. Are we good with the budget?
Any other questions, council? All right, move on with the.
Okay, let's go to the
report.
gravel pit.
Hey
Okay,
Wendy,
so-
just a second. I got a girl sitting on the floor. Adam, would you grab that chair and take it over to this young lady? And any of you people, there's more chairs here.
Oh, so they don't
Please,
sit on
please,
the floor.
please feel comfortable in grabbing a chair and sitting down. You don't have to stand. That floor can't be that comfortable. So, thank you very much. Sorry to interrupt, Wendy. Go ahead,
Oh,
please.
no, I'm glad, thank you. Okay, so on the gravel pit, we received a $400,000 prepayment towards the royalties that the city would receive, and that was in 2021. They started extracting gravel in August of 2021. We reached the 400,000 amount in May of 22, at which point we received our first royalty check for $29,000. And then we were receiving checks up through September. And in August, September timeframe, we were in negotiations with doing the roundabout. So we had Knife River create the roundabout that's on Middleton Road. And so all the royalties at that point stopped sending checks to the city and was applied to the roundabout. So to date, the gravel pit has revenues of $1.8 million, and that's down at the bottom there. And you'll see on this that each year shows the gross earnings for that year and the gross tonnage that was pulled out. If you go to the bottom, it talks about the roundabout project, and I have the cost of the roundabout at $3.5 million. I understand that Jason is working on getting this trued up, and that cost might actually be less than this. But as of tonight that I'm reporting, and I've just received today from Knife River the November's amount. So my sheet's updated, and unfortunately what you guys had and what's in the packet for the public wasn't. But based on this, so we've applied to the roundabout is $1,175,313.39. And so that leaves a balance of $2,337,834 that is still owed for the roundabout. And that's at the bottom. Jenica, if you'll scroll down right there. And so that's where we're at today on the gravel pit. And so they are to continue to extract gravel and get that whole roundabout paid. Now, of the money that we received in royalty checks, that was $677,085.94, and that's in the bank. And so if the gravel pit for some reason does not pull out the $2 million balance, we'll pull that in, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Any questions?
So I might update a little bit on the life of the gravel pit. We asked Knife River to be here. They couldn't be here till a later date. You'll get an update from them on the pit. The first life expectancy was 8 years. Knife River's saying they're going to finish before 8 years, so they'll continue to mine. There's of course, cold weather hits and mining stops completely, and that's where we're at now. So we wouldn't anticipate any more revenue coming until probably March or April of next year when they'll fire up again.
And Mayor, that's true. In October, the gravel pit took out 23,000, and in November 7,000. So it has definitely slowed down.
I think Knife River told Clerk Crofts that they would be here later this month or the first week or two of January. Okay. Anything else for Wendy, Council?
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Wendy. Action item, the consent agenda is action item number 1. A is consider approving minutes for City Council November 15. B, consider approving minutes for November 14 joint meeting City Council. Those were with the fire departments, that whole meeting. C, consider ratifying payroll for November 17. D, consider ratifying payroll through December 1. E, consider approving accounts payable through November 24. F, to consider approving corrected resolution 497-23, approving the Canyon County City of Middleton / Caldwell Rural Fire Protection District / Caldwell City of Middleton / Middleton Rural Fire District second amended and reformed intergovernmental agreement and joint powers agreement for the collection and expenditure of development impact fees for fire district systems improvements by and between the City of Middleton and the Caldwell Rural Fire Protection District, and the collection and expending of development impact fees for the fire district systems improvements as identified in the capital improvement plan. And that's a mouthful, but you guys were at those meetings and know what we were dealing with.
Council, questions about the consent agenda? No. Council, I can tell you, item F, the clerical errors were discovered by Jenica, errors made by the outside party's attorney, just some numbering errors and those type deals. So Jenica got them cleaned up so that we can get them to the publisher. Any other questions? And I move we approve consent agenda items A through F.
Second.
Motion by Kaiser, second by O'Meara. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is unanimous. Action item number 2 is consider approving Mayor Rule's appointment of Tyson Sparrow to the Middleton Planning and Zoning Commission Board to fill the remainder of Mark Christensen's term ending December 15th. When Mark Christensen came in and told me he'd like to focus on his role as the city council elect, I was tasked with coming up with a name. Tyson Sparrow has ran for office numerous times. Just, got to know him through those campaigning efforts. I found him to be a man of good character and true desire to serve Middleton. So I've tapped him as a very good and qualified candidate to move forward and serve on Middleton P&Z Commission. I would tell you that there's some opposition out there in the world I got an email from a person who's not a member of Middleton City, but was challenging his qualifications. I don't share those same opinions, but that's why we have discussion and appointments. And council?
Council, any concerns?
Not for me.
I've known Tyson for 12 years, since I was first on council. Rarely do we agree on anything. But I've always found him to listen and come to the best decisions that he can with the information he has. So I think he'd be great on this.
Then I move we approve the mayor's appointment of Tyson Sparrow to the Middleton Planning and Zoning Commission to fill the remainder of Mark Christensen's term ending December 15th of 2024.
Second.
Motion by Kaiser, second by O'Meara. Roll call.
Council President Kaiser?
Yes.
Councilmember Huggins?
Yes.
Councilmember Murray?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Yes.
That's unanimous. Thank you, council. Item number 3 is to consider approving 2024 City Council and Planning and Zoning Commission regularly scheduled meetings. Ms. Cross isn't here, but our Director Stewart is here to pick that up. Roberta.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So each year, before the new year, we need to approve the P&Z's regularly scheduled meetings and also City Council, and that helps with the way we can post our agendas thereafter, timing-wise. So which one is that, Jenica, that's up there?
June, the second meeting in June.
Okay, so and
For
it
City
turns
Council.
out that for City Council, you're looking at City Council's regularly scheduled meetings. Juneteenth falls on a Wednesday. That would normally be your scheduled meeting. So Council would need to look at that and decide, do you want to do it the following Wednesday or a Thursday, or how do you want to handle that? You might want to pull your cap.
City council's the first and third.
Yeah, first and third Wednesdays.
So the first one is one, the third one is
So there is murmuring in the silence here. I need to get a little bit on record here. What, your council is what, Jenica, speak up?
City council meets the first and third Wednesday of every month, and the first Wednesday of June is the 5th, and the third Wednesday of June is June 19th, which June 19th is now Juneteenth, which is a federal holiday, which means City Hall will be closed. So unless you want to hold a city council meeting on the day the City Hall is closed.
Kick it to the board.
You want to propose an alternate date?
26th.
The following Wednesday. That's what we did in P&Z. We just picked the following Monday, week later.
Council, do we have a problem with going on June 26th, the following Wednesday? No problem.
Kind of far in the future, but I don't see a problem.
Yeah. Carrie, do you see a problem?
I can't make that one.
Let's put it on the record then for June 26th. That following Wednesday.
Thank you very much. The motion would be to accept that schedule with that
Yeah,
change.
I'll put it official here then. Council, any other questions about that, the schedule? Excuse me. Then I move we approve the 2024 City Council Planning and Zoning Commission's regular scheduled meetings with the City Council meeting on June 26th as opposed to June 19th.
Second?
Motion by Kaiser, second by O'Meara. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That is unanimous. We'll go to item 4. Consider accepting the Middleton municipal election results for the November 7th, 2023 election as certified by Canyon County. Again, Ms. Crofts isn't here, but I'll take this one. The election results are posted and certified by the county elections office, but officially, Middleton needs to accept them.
Council questions? I move we accept the Middleton municipal election results for the November 7th, 2023 election as certified by Canyon County.
Second?
Motion by Kaiser, second by O'Meara. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Item number 5, consider approving resolution number 501-23, a resolution of the Middleton City Council, Middleton, Canyon County, Idaho, to authorize the mayor to sign a letter to convey to Idaho Transportation Department the signalized improvements at State Highway 44 and Hartley Lane constructed by the city of Middleton within Idaho Transportation Department right-of-way. Mr. Van Gilder, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jason Van Gilder, your Public Works Director. This is a motion to get rid of the signal that we just built. Really, we're very glad it's there, it's working well, but Idaho is much better, or the Department of Transportation is much better prepared to maintain, program, fix, whatever else needs to happen to that signal than we are in the future, and we would like to officially convey it to them so that they can be responsible for maintaining it. I've reached out to them and they've agreed to accept it, and this is the process we've come up with to convey it to them. So I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Questions for Jason?
Any chance they'll reimburse us for that signal?
No, I just asked them the other day and they said
Just
no.
had to ask.
I was biting my tongue, which is rare.
It's really nice that we get to pay for something that they get.
Yep.
All right, then I move we approve resolution number 501-23.
Second?
Motion by Kaiser, second by O'Meara, roll call.
Council President Kaiser.
Yes.
Councilmember Huggins.
Yes.
Councilmember Murray.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Meara.
Yes.
That is unanimous. Thank you, council. Item number 6 is consider authorizing the mayor to execute a task order with Contract Land Services to provide right-of-way acquisition support services for the Quarry East Roundabout in the amount not to exceed $23,400, Mr. Van Gilder.
Mayor and council members, again, this particular contract is to help us acquire some property down along Middleton Road that it's on where the service road to the Idaho Power transformer is. I think we have a map there. But the frontage of that, we have an agreement with the developer, and a development agreement that if we can provide the right-of-way necessary to construct a roundabout, they will do that. If not, they will construct an intersection or a traffic light signal. The preference would be for a roundabout, as those are generally safer and require less maintenance and are generally easier to use. So this would help us acquire that necessary property to move forward. Anytime we're working around roadways that could possibly get federal funding, it's very important to follow the federal process, and the federal people have lots of processes. So we brought in a specialist that knows that process and can make sure that all the boxes get checked as we acquire that property. And should something come up along there that would allow us to get some federal funding, this would not preclude that. So that's what the item before you. We are working our way towards Google Earth.
Not playing much. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I don't know why it's not playing nice with me. Let's not do Google Earth, let's do something else. Let's do Google Earth. Is it down at Bass Lane?
Yes, south of Bass Lane. We're further south.
You're almost
Further
there.
south.
She did it.
Right there.
Right there.
Right above it, that's the service road that,
Right here?
yes.
Okay. Is there a point in the frame?
There it is.
So Jason, is this in lieu of future development to the east off of that service road?
This is because of that development, or that is the development agreement that would construct this roundabout.
I thought in that DA that we specified a traffic light, didn't we? I thought that's what I
That's
remember.
what I was thinking too.
I believe it's a roundabout unless, if we can provide the property within a certain amount of time. And see what Bert's doing.
It's a roundabout, and if that won't work, an interim traffic signal.
So it's an interim traffic signal, but the goal is to get to a roundabout?
Yes.
And then we're talking, is that stub road, that service road, going to eventually become a access point, I'm assuming then, for the east?
Actually, no, that, I think it'll be used solely by Idaho Power and possibly Idaho Materials
To the south?
to the east, to the east.
Oh, to the east?
No,
Yeah.
south.
Oh,
Because I know
Yes,
Materials is
southeast-
right there
the
to the
southeast
south.
Yeah.
quadrant of the intersection.
yeah.
So we're gonna we wanna build a roundabout, but the stub going to the east only services Idaho Power. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Yes.
And we do have a well, excuse me, we do have a well facility in that.
In that as well?
We do, so there is some city reason to be down there.
I didn't know we had any wells that far south.
I need a pointer, and I need you to zoom out. Is there just one pointer right now? Could I use that, please? Let's
I don't
zoom
see
in
it.
a little, no, that's okay. move the scroll down. Scroll, no, that's the other down, yeah. Right there, that'll work. Council, this is informational and not planned. There's plans in the future. This is Galvin property here that's in a trust and will be for 2 or 3 years before it comes out. This is zoned industrial by the county and the city. Back here, there's some property that the Galvins have a very lightly touched on plan for a RV park. And they're thinking that they would like to extend that little gravel lane back there to service that right there. Right here is Bass Lane. Let's zoom in a little bit, Jenica. Let's try that. Right here is Bass Lane. Out here's where that Nash has got all that construction and improvement going on. The plan, there is plans that have been discussed. I don't know that it's on paper to put a light here because this is going to be industrial ground. And extend Bass Lane back here and service that. Instead of this little gravel lane turning into yet another street, this would be a lighted intersection where trucks could go in and out of the light. Now scroll back out until you hit right there, that's good. Instead of hit a roundabout or light here to service trucks full of, there's talk right now of a big trust company buying this property from Steve Peel of Rural Steel. He's gonna move all his operation over across the street, and a big truss company. So trucks full of trusses. And again, this isn't planned, this isn't discussed by P&Z. This is just stuff for you to consider as you start a discussion here. I don't think it's impossible that Bass Lane would go like this and out here. So now you've got 2 access points for industry to move in and out of, I think it's 140, 60 acres back here, plus an RV park. And this will be done by future engineers and planners, but that is coming. Councilman O'Meara.
Mayor Rule, didn't we have a discussion a while back about the property on the other side of the street, putting in a large private home development across the street from this intersection?
And that's what Roberta's talking about. That's the quarry. And that's the
Right.
entryway to that. Oh, how many homes are there?
600.
600 approved home sites already there. So the answer is yes, that's definitely, it's right there. Councilman Murray.
I thought, excuse me, I thought I remembered it being upwards of 700 per, since there's an east and a west portion, and the first one that we approved, I thought I remembered it being somewhere like 740 is the number that's in my head.
We only have Quarry East right now.
Yeah, I know.
And
but-
it's, I think it's just 640, it's
Okay.
600-ish, I don't know for sure, but I think it might be 640.
Still several hundred building sites.
Well, I don't see how a roundabout would be sufficient to handle that volume of traffic. I don't know. I think
As opposed to,
I'd like an actual traffic signal. Because it's not just the eastern portion, it's going, eventually they're gonna propose the western half. And unless they have another exit, it's gonna come through that same intersection.
I don't have any information on how much traffic a well-designed roundabout handles. Do you have anything in your memory banks?
No.
Nor do I.
we need the light around about, we need the ground.
Yeah. I kinda went down a rabbit hole. I apologize.
Yeah, no, you're fine. It's just, we still gotta have the ground if we're gonna, even if we're gonna do a traffic light, a signalized light, any kind of traffic control there, we gotta have the ground, the right of way to do something, there in the future. I remember, if I remember correctly, and Roberta, correct me if I'm wrong, but to the west, that ground's gonna be available already, through the development.
Yes.
So we have that. What we're dealing with then would be on the east side of the road.
Maybe northeast, southeast.
Yeah, north and southeast corners,
Yes.
of that to, some kind of traffic control, right there, so. So that's what we're looking at, Jason, is then it.
Yes.
Jason, in your talks with, all the powers that be, for involving Middleton Road,
Yes.
are they, I know there's been talk in the past about widening Middleton Road in
Yes.
general. Do we have a timeline on that?
No.
Okay, I know, it's all talk, it's like a lot of things, it's all, we wanna do it, but we're not going to. All right, council, any other questions? Understand the right-of-way need here. Councilman Huggins?
Yeah, I just wanna confirm, we need the right of way, and we need it done in the appropriate way, so that if there's ever federal grant monies, it's done correctly. And that's what this secures, that if
Yes.
there's ever a federal grant, we at least haven't messed it up to
We
where
will have the paper trail
to
appropriate.
apply for it.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. And Jason, where are these funds coming from?
We have them in the streets.
Streets? Okay. Budgeted item?
We have budget money for right-of-way, not specifically for this.
This project, just
contract.
right away in general?
Yes.
Okay,
Some other right-of-way funds.
okay.
But not tied to other projects currently.
Don't know that I could, they're tied to other projects, but we think this is more likely to be a precursor project.
Okay. All right, well, council, we'll follow you here. I'll make the motion, you decide. Authorize the mayor to execute task order with Contract Land Services to provide right-of-way acquisition support services for the Quarry East Roundabout in an amount not to exceed $23,400.
Second.
Roll call this, Mayor.
Yes, I will. Motion by Kaiser, second by O'Meara. Roll call.
Council President Kaiser.
Yes.
Councilmember Highland.
Yes.
Councilmember Murray.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Meara.
Yes.
That is unanimous. Thank you very much, council. We'll move to item number 7. Again, it's a Van Gilder items to consider authorizing the mayor to execute task order with Contract Land Services to provide right-of-way acquisition for a Middleton Road realignment project. Mr. Van Gilder.
Yes, very similar issue here. This is, and we'll let Jenica scroll up on the map here. This is when Middleton does become straightened. Currently, there is plans to connect the north leg of the roundabout that goes nowhere up to Boise Street. That will be done, that is anticipated to be done by a developer as frontage improvements to their development here as early as next summer. That will be a big step towards our straightening of Middleton Road. The city last year purchased the property on the northwest corner of Boise and Murphy. Murphy is also another name for. Oh, the mayor's got it.
You wanna
Right
take
there.
it?
We purchased that property. To widen that road, we think to expand the approach onto that intersection, we believe we'll need a little more property from one of the parcels and wanted to retain Contract Land Services to assist us in acquiring that. Thank you. So, again, same thing, there's the possibility with its proximity to a state highway that federal funds may be available at some point in the future, and we want to make sure the paperwork was in order to do that acquisition. correctly so as not to preclude future funds.
Councilman O'Meara?
Mayor Rule, question, Jason. You stated that the developer that's working on that subdivision right now is gonna be putting in the road to Boise this year.
Cool. Well, that's
Or
a
at least
definitive, yes.
his half
Yes,
of
that
that
was what I was
road.
in.
Is that correct?
Yes, there are plans afoot that.
Okay, so that's going to open that section from the roundabout to Boise Avenue, which is, Boise Avenue is already turning out onto Highway 44 at this time. So basically, you're putting a lane and a half in now. What are we gonna do to control that traffic until such time as the rest of the road is completed? Because I see a real, oh my God, we can go this way now.
Yes, well, they
And
will
that's
still be
gonna
able to
be a
go the
mess.
other way. Yes, so we are looking at what we could do to do improvements to that area to better accommodate what we project would be a larger flow volume. We had a meeting yesterday with ITD to talk about what parameters they might have or request or want for any sort of minor improvement. Obviously, a lighted intersection with built to the full 4-lane future idea of Middleton Road would be ideal, but that's not in the budget for next year. So
I'm sorry,
we're
it's a little-
looking for some interim options of.
Yeah,
what-
my question was a little bit off base on what we're actually working on here, but I see a nightmare in front of us.
So that is why we were looking for additional property.
Absolutely, okay.
So,
Thank you.
Councilman Mayor, I'll try and highlight that a little bit more. That meeting yesterday with ITD was to get ITD to give us their design of what they want Middleton to look like when it's extended up to that highway, to address just it is gonna get really busy there.
Yes, it is.
And until ITD comes to the table and gives us their design, it's tough for Middleton to design that last 300 or 400 feet. It's not very much up there, but we gotta have their input. So if you go out and look down Middleton Road, that developer's already put the manholes in up to Boise Street now. And their last report to me was that they plan on fully constructing that next spring and summer. So we'd kind of like ITD to step up and give us their design so we can so Jason can do his design. So,
Mayor Rule, the developer's only responsible with the center of the road, is that correct?
from the roundabout
From the
up
roundabout.
to Boise
Boise.
Street, they'll be putting in a 2-lane road like coming across the Boise River Bridge.
Okay, and we're responsible for the other half of the road.
The answer is yes, and that right-of-way has been,
Acquired?
Yes.
oh, it's,
It's in
today we
process.
met with that landowner and finalized that last detail that had nothing to do with that side. That's already surveyed and designed. But on the other side, the angle that goes off, there was still some like 4-foot discrepancies that the surveyor will fix on Monday. It'll go to the title company next week, and by the following week, there should be something that can be recorded.
Awesome.
So,
That's pretty exciting.
yeah, it really is.
Any other questions, council? Then I move we authorize the mayor to execute task order with Contract Land Services to provide right-of-way acquisition and support services, Middleton Road Realignment Project, an amount not to exceed $12,700.
Second?
Motion by Kaiser, second by O'Meara, roll call.
Council President Kaiser?
Yes.
Councilmember Huggins?
Yes.
Councilmember Murray?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Meara?
Yes.
That is unanimous, thank you very much. Action item number 8 is to consider approving resolution 502-23, resolution of the Middleton City Council, Middleton, Canyon County, Idaho, adopting the City of Middleton 2023 pavement management plan as updated by JUB engineers as the official pavement management plan of the city of Middleton and approving an effective date. Mr. Van Gilder.
Yes, thank you again, Mayor and Council. We had a previous pavement management plan was done about 2013, so it's about 10 years old. I'm not sure we had followed all that to the T, and I'm not sure what parts were needed to be or needed not to be. So we retained JUB to update that plan. They worked with our field crews to really cost effectively go through and take a rating of all the roads in the city that are the city's responsibility. They then took that rating back and identified kind of a plan to move forward on how to address the most critical roads. We have both good news and bad news. The good news is that we have been doing some things over the last couple of years of seal coating some roads. You had put in the budget to do a chip seal next year, which we had not done for several years. And so the level of effort that we're doing is generally in line with what we should continue doing. And I was, for perfectly honest, expecting to be much higher. But the level that we are doing is relatively a good practice and something that's sustainable. You'll see on the graph in front of you the green and the yellow are areas where they thought that seal coating and chip sealing would be an effective treatment based on the current condition of the road that will extend the road life and be a responsible path forward. And sort of the bad news is that the orange and the red area, mostly that area immediately north of downtown, our Main Street, some of our area over there west of Middleton Place Park, those roads are too far gone for really a surface treatment, a chip seal or a seal coat. The orange probably needs to be milled out and or re-asphalted. The red probably just needs a full reconstruction to that point. So those are challenges that this report maybe makes us more aware of, and we can look at how to tackle those as we move forward as a city and council. But of course, the takeaway is still to stay the course on our maintenance of our current roads that are susceptible or that are receptive to a surface treatment, as we have been doing in the recent past. And then we'll work on some larger capital projects to see how we can address those other areas. So with that, I'd be glad to stand for any questions.
Councilman O'Meara.
Mayor Rule, Jason, can you give us a little more of a timeline on when you think these projects are gonna need to be done?
There is in
Because
the
there's
report.
quite a bit of red here.
So there's a pretty extensive list on the report that has years and a funding pattern through years. And this funds your pavement restoration project at roughly the $225,000 to $250,000 a year range. Yeah, that table. Thank you, Jennifer. And that's the pavement restoration. That's the chip seals and the seal coating that we're doing on the roads. The full reconstruction and the mill and inlay work is not really laid out in a time frame. That could certainly happen anytime in the next 10 years or the last 10 years, and it would be just once a bit.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Jason, do you know, and I don't really know whether you will or not, do you know if how much over the cost is of the House bill line that is for your transportation fund specifically for road maintenance? Do you have any idea what that number is?
I
House
should,
Bill
because I was
3
just working on that
something.
report, but I
Okay.
cannot.
Do you remember if we thought, oh, that's really, we don't really have to come up with much more than that? Do you remember what you're?
I remember my
looking at
thinking was that if we're doing, that's adequate for our maintenance program.
Okay,
That's not necessarily going to address our
The rebuild, right, okay. But at least that one line item that we get from the state looks like it could cover the maintenance piece, which is good news, okay.
Council, any other questions? Councilman Mayor?
Jason, on Dewey, I know that we have a culvert project that's been on our books for a while.
We do.
Any idea when that one's going through, and can we coordinate that improvement with this remill? I guess that's a remill on Dewey.
Possibly. I have a meeting on that tomorrow, believe it or not.
Okay.
We've retained Keller Engineers. You may recall the council authorized us to retain Keller Engineers several months ago to study that project and develop that project. We've looked at what it would take to replace the culvert in kind. They have there were some complications. They came up with a very good alternate design. We've submitted that to the water company, the drainage company, and they've gone back and forth twice on that, and they want to meet us up there tomorrow. So if they like everything we're doing, we could move forward with that relatively quickly. That is mostly the culvert replacement with
Just a small
asphalt
section.
replacement on 10 feet on either side. We're not really talking about a quarter-mile stretch of roadway.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, then I move we approve resolution number 502-23.
Second?
Motion by Kaiser, second by O'Meara. Roll call.
Council President Kaiser.
Yes.
Councilmember Hennons.
Yes.
Councilmember Murray.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Meara.
Yes.
That is unanimous.
Thank you, Council.
I think you get off the hot seat now, Jason. Thank you. Action item number 9, consider approving the Riverwalk Crossing Subdivision Number 1 final plat. Ms. Stewart.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, council members. So it's a final plat application, and it's for the Riverwalk Crossing Subdivision, Phase Number 1. And let's start with vicinity up there. You can see that it's just south of Highway 44, right by the brand-new roundabout at Sawtooth Lakes and Middleton Road. So the final plat is zoned C3. You can see that up there in gray. And then the rest of it in the light pink is R2 residential. So C3 is heavy commercial. And that could take anything from a hotel and a riverside restaurant, office space, nice retail. And R2 will be minimum 21,780 square foot lots. So they're large, nice river lots. The plat meets all the dimensions and standards for the C3 and the R2 zones. All work and construction has been completed, except for they were unable to get a little bit of the landscaping and fencing. They couldn't get that done. And the code does allow them to bond at a 200% increase. And so they have submitted a bond for $160,000. All other fees that are due have been paid by this developer. Keller Associates is an engineering firm in Meridian, and it handled this construction drawing and final plat application. And they have submitted a recommendation of approval letter, and you can see that attached to the final plat. They have confirmed that it meets all the standards of our code.
Roberta, what was that bond again?
$160,000.
And those bonds are in the amount of 200% of anticipated cost, correct?
Correct, under our new code revision, yes.
Okay, thank you. Questions for Roberta, council?
All right, then I move we approve the Riverwalk Crossing Subdivision Number 1 final plat.
Second.
Motion by Kaiser, second by Huggins. Let's roll call this one.
Council President Kaiser.
Yes.
Councilmember Huggins.
Yes.
Councilmember Murray.
Yes.
Councilmember Ramirez.
Abstain.
Often abstentions are grounded. You abstain, you have financial interests or?
No, sir, but Tyler Hess is my nephew.
Appropriate. Thank you very much for pointing that out on the record. So we have a motion that's 3 and an abstention. Very good. Douglas, did you have something? No. Okay, all right.
A good time with the kids.
This would be a good time. All right.
Empty the
So
room.
it's 6:26. We're going to take about a 5 or 10 minute break. This is the time when students come up and get their signatures from any one of us here can sign that. And Mr. Allen and Mr.